Look, Pete Hegseth is monopolizing all 24/7 of the news cycle. And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show, where we're on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. So listen, this community, you want to subscribe and share with a friend because there's so much to talk about. Now, according to CNN, Fox News, and you all know that Pete Hegseth was a former host, Fox News hasn't addressed their former host. And again, regarding these allegations. So last week, the New York Times reported that Hegseth's mother, his own mamashi, wrote an email to her son calling him out for his sexual misconduct. But she did later say that she regretted actually sending it. But that doesn't negate the fact that she sent it in the first place or what it actually says, which is terrible. Then on Sunday, the New Yorker came out with a bombshell piece based on a whistleblower's report. I mean, this is how CNN described it. On Sunday, the New Yorker reported that Hegseth was forced out of previous leadership positions for financial mismanagement, sexist behavior, and being repeatedly intoxicated on the job. The allegations came from a whistleblower report and other internal emails, New York reporter Jane Mayer said. This is really not a joke. I mean, listen, I've had Jane Mayer on my Mea Culpa podcast. She is a well-known and a well-respected journalist. Now, I want to also show you a clip of Abby Phillips discussing Pete Hegseth's finances. Play that clip.
Hold on, I'm going to stop for a second. The only reason I'm stopping you is because You're saying that this is all blind sources. You're saying that this is not legitimate. Here's a part that's just numbers, math, okay? In January 2009, Hegseth sent a letter to donors admitting that as of that day, the group had less than $1,000 in the bank, $434,833 in unpaid bills. The group had run up credit card debts as much as $75,000. He took full responsibility for the mess, but he begged donors for more money. That's a management issue. That's a math issue.
It's a math issue. That doesn't mean it's a management issue. But let me finish. Let me finish.
How's that not a management issue?
Would you like me to finish answer your question, your first question that you asked me? I know Pete Hegseth. I've known him since 2009. I helped with Vets for Freedom on Capitol Hill. A lot of that, I'm offended by her article. I'm offended because she's got all these unnamed sources who on this hit piece who are attacking him, which seems to only happen to one side of the aisle for some reason. She didn't write it. Hold on.
Oh my God,
let me finish.
But you can't claim that it's
Yeah. Again, he may not be the right guy within which to be defending Pete Hegseth. And I want to remind everybody, the role that Pete Hegseth was nominated for, of course, has to go through Senate confirmation, unless, of course, they end up doing the recess appointments, which would be completely inappropriate, but still legal. Department of Defense, sexual misconduct, financial mismanagement. You're talking about like the biggest pot of money that this country puts out for our defense and intoxication. Those are three disasters that could potentially put all of us at risk. So next I want to show you a clip of Senator Dan Sullivan saying they need to take these allegations seriously. Really? Oh shit. Play the clip.
The Pentagon needs a serious course correction, so I'm going to have a lot of questions for him, but I think, he's the kind of guy who can do that.
Are you going to have questions about these allegations that have come out?
Yeah. I mean, but there's a process for that. Sometimes you got to take these allegations seriously. Sometimes, even when you take them seriously, they turn out to be inaccurate.
Right. Because his own mom doesn't want her son to be a cabinet member for the Department of Defense, the Secretary of the Department of Defense. Really? So you think that all of this is made up, taking these allegations out of context? Okay, I respect that, Dan. You're right. Everything needs to be investigated. So let's hope, again, that this actually goes to a Senate confirmation as opposed to being shoved down America's throat with these recess appointments. It's why I said earlier, it could be very dangerous. And again, I don't know Pete Hegseth from a hole in the wall. And could these allegations be inaccurate? Sure. But really, there's that old expression, 1,000 Frenchmen can't be wrong. Or how about, isn't your mom your mom? Right? I mean, won't your mom protect you to the ends of the earth? Doesn't seem so here, right? Now, I want to show you a clip of Tommy Tuberville on Fox News saying that the allegations happened a long time ago, as if that's supposed to make things better. Play the clip.
For heaven's sakes. The police report is this. It says nothing happened. They didn't bring any charges. Now, let's get to the agenda you just talked about. And Pete put it in his book, War on Warriors.
Exactly. And you can read a lot about that, as you just said, Larry. The thing about Pete is he's well-spoken. It's all out there. People can look at it. But a lot of this stuff was years ago. Now, again, you got to be responsible for your actions. But Pete has done everything he possibly can do to get it out there, to talk to people. Again, when we get to the hearings, probably somewhere around January 9th or 10th, Larry, it's going to be about the military. It's not going to be about his past references. Now, the Democrats are going to do everything they can to destroy probably one of the better people that we've ever had in the as a possible appointee as Secretary of Defense. But that's all they have. And they're going to try to destroy him. It's not going to work. He's going to work.
You see, this is the whole problem. If somebody only watches Fox News, you would think, why are these Democrats? Why is everybody going against poor Pete Hegseth, right? I mean, whatever happened in the past, and everybody, trust me, I know this better than most. Everybody has a right to redemption. Sure, he wrote about it in his book. He talked about it. His mom certainly talks about it. But listen to what Tuberville is turning around and saying. He's one of the best qualified for the Department of Defense. Why? Because he's a weekend Fox News host? Seriously? And we're now supposed to take Tommy Tuberville seriously? I mean, yes, we all want the best possible people, but it's not our choice. It's Trump's choice. So if in fact that's who Trump wants as the Secretary of Defense, sure, he could nominate him, but that doesn't mean that each of the senators that are going to be deciding whether the nomination goes through or not should actually vote for the guy simply because that's the nominee that Trump put forth. If he's just not qualified, why put him up in the first place? Or why let him get confirmed? It just doesn't make sense. It's too big of a position to just willy-nilly give out to a Fox News weekend host. So I understand Kudlow not wanting to shit on his own co-host in on the same station, but really, I mean, that's the whole problem. It's like this Republican versus Democrat sort of back and forth nonsense, a blame game where neither side will acknowledge when their guy is really just not competent. Though, to be very fair in this guy, and I'm talking about Pete Hegseth, is truly just not qualified. I don't care how smart the guy is, and he is smart. He's not qualified to be the secretary for the Department of Defense. I'm sorry, my opinion. Now, I want to show you a clip of Hegseth being asked if he was ever drunk while traveling on the job. Again, there seems to be serious alcohol abuse, and that's not who you want running your Defense Department. Play the clip.
We are talking with every senator that wants to talk to us, and the conversations we have with senators are, of course, going to remain private.
On the job. Not going to dignify that as a response.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to dignify that with a response either. Right? I mean, how about if the answer is no? Just say no. No. Have a nice day. And I want to show you now a clip of Tom Nichols warning that Trump's making a move to an authoritarian government, which of course is why many people are saying right now This is why he wants somebody like Pete Hegseth in that position. Play the clip.
And, this is just incredibly dangerous. And you're starting to put together, we don't know what will happen with the Hegseth nomination, but you put together Tulsi Gabbard as DNI, John Ratcliffe, another loyalist at CIA, Kash Patel at the FBI, Pam Bondi at Justice. You have the makings of, a not so slow motion authoritarian takeover of the United States government. And people ought to be really concerned about this.
Tim.
Yeah. While I acknowledge what Tom is saying, again, I think it's real fantastical that whether you have somebody like Kash Patel or Pam Bondi, can they do damage? Sure. Weaponizing the Department of Justice, as I wrote about in my book, Revenge, sure they can. Have they done it? No. Right? So are we creating our own scenarios right now for what we believe is going to happen? Because if somebody has that crystal ball, just DM me or something and tell me exactly what the Powerball numbers are each and every week. Because it'd be great to win every single week of Powerball. We're all jumping the gun. Because I assure you, the guardrails of our democratic republic will not allow it. Will there be people like myself in the past who get hurt? Absolutely. It's why I kept going on and on and on and talking about the writ of certiorari that I filed to the Supreme Court to ensure that no American citizen ever again, like what happened to me, gets unconstitutionally remanded because you have a bloviated and you have an asshole for an attorney general, right? You have a corrupt attorney general, and I'm referring to Bill Barr. Never again should something like that ever happen. Did the Supreme Court accept my writ? No. Will I think it happen again under potentially a Pam Bondi? I don't know. Is it possible? Sure. Will they be able now to use a habeas corpus petition as I did in order to get out? I don't even know that. I don't know whether that's even going to be on the table now that you have presidential immunity. But I don't get it. I don't even want to start trying to concoct some ideas of what possibly can go wrong, how bad things could be. But I do agree with Tom. We all have to keep our eyes open. And I want to finish this segment by discussing Kash Patel, right? Who's nominated to run the FBI. And here's what Ron DeSantis had to say about that. Play the clip.
Kash Patel understands the problems with the FBI, and he is a reformer that will not be captured by the bureaucrats. Contrast that to our current FBI director, Christopher Wray. We remember when he got appointed back in 2017, he immediately became a company man and was captured by that institution. He has not reformed it in any way, shape, or form. And so I actually think Kash has a lot of very significant experience that's important here. But put that aside, you can be the smartest guy in the world, you can have all this experience. If you don't understand that the institution needs to be reformed, if you get captured, then you're done. You're not going to be effective. And so I think Donald Trump in this pick and others, he's making sure he's getting people who have the proper posture to these institutions. These are not the revered institutions that they may have been 30 years ago. These are very problematic institutions. Kash understands that. I think a lot of Republican senators understand that, but apparently not enough do.
Do you expect him to get confirmed, Governor?
I do.
All right. Governor DeSantis.
Again, first of all, if you go back and you listen to Ron DeSantis, he speaks very well, but he said absolutely nothing. There's problems with the institution, and therefore Kash Patel, who is a anti-institutionalist, who's going to be perfect for the FBI. Does that make any sense at all? And that there's a bunch of Republicans that may not see it the same way, but don't worry, he's going to get confirmed. You know that the margins in both the House and the Senate are very, very slim. That's why Matt Gaetz was unable to continue with the nomination, because there were 20 to 30 Republicans that said that they can't vote for him. So let's hope that the guardrails that were put up by our founding fathers actually hold, and that our democratic republic is not as set forth by, so many, by Tommy Tuberville or by, by, let's say, by, Ron DeSantis or any of these other, folks. Let's hope that the guardrails do hold. So in that way, the America that we leave to our children is no worse than the America we receive from our parents. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.